Tejinendra, it's my honor and a pleasure to introduce an eminent scholar from India, Dr. Deepak Bhai Turkia. He's a cardiologist by profession and carries excellent professional credentials. After he started the medical practice, the practice started booming and making a lot of money. But Deepak Bhai was not happy. He was not satisfied. He thought that there was more to life than just making more and more money. So then he cut back his practice to a bare minimum, and that allowed him ample time to study and practice Jainism. Since the school days, Deepak Bhai showed keen interest in many other religions, but his conclusion was that Jainism was his best choice. He studied Jainism from many scholars, knowledgeable scholars in India. And then he realized that the teachings of Srimad Rajchandra Ji reflected the core of Jainism. One of those scholars was Pujya Sri Magan Bapa, who himself was a disciple of Prabhu Sri Ji. So Deepak Bhai spent almost 20 years with him and learned a lot from his wealth of knowledge. Since then, Deepak Bhai has been spending most of his time writing articles and giving talks to various organizations in India. So we are so blessed to have him over here. His topic in the session is going to be Jainism without caste, creed, and differentiation. So please welcome Deepak Bhai Turkia.
Sahajatma Swarup Param Guru. True seekers all, brothers and sisters, at the outset, I would like to thank wholeheartedly the organizers of the 21st Biennial Jaina Convention for inviting me to participate in this convention. I am indeed delighted and feel blessed as I will be talking about the true Jainism unhidden, lion's share of Srimad Rajchandra as per Lord Mahavir's preaching. There is added importance here that I will be talking in English today, which I am hopeful will be useful to the English-knowing spiritual aspirant world over. Srimad Rajchandra, at a young age of 20, with the spiritual heights he had attained, was aptly optimistic about the venture of spreading Lord Mahavir's path world over. He had confidently written about this in letter number 27 of Vachanamrut, that just see and rejoice you all, the whole world will be spiritually inclined in time to come. Now, with the powerful influence of his magical words and our heartful dedication, let us all utilize our potential at full to spread his message of true Jainism world over. This is the only way to please him, and the essence of any spiritual activity is to please the Master, who himself is absolutely selfless. In this regard, this is the way to please the heavenly God as well. Let us see what this lion's share of Srimad Rajchandra towards making the true Jainism unhidden is all about. Vartamana kalma moksha marg bahulop vicharva atmarthine bhakyo atra gopya. At present, the path of liberation is mostly unknown because of differences of opinion. This is true not only in so-called Jainism, but almost all the prevailing religions of the world. Srimad Rajchandra, without any reservations, laid it unhidden for the true seekers. He has put forward the fundamental philosophical truths about the soul and the pure and sure method of liberation. His method is unique and unparalleled in the way that there is no sectarianism here. And this is the point which leaves behind universal appeal. Self-realization can be achieved only if one follows the path of detachment from worldly pleasures. Spiritualism and worldly progress can never go hand in hand. Very subject matter is different altogether. The very purpose of these two is at extreme, north and the south pole. Likewise, to be religious or spiritually inclined, there is no need of ruminating the concept of heaven and hell either. Imaginary and attractive thrilling stories like novel, purely mythical, do not end up anywhere near the true religion. Instead, repels one from the same. He narrated realistic and practical method of liberation, wherein one doesn't have to depend on heavenly gods. He, without any ambiguity, laid down the Lord Mahavir's eternal path of liberation afresh. Srimad Rajchandra, contemporary of Mahatma Gandhi, has been instrumental in sowing the seeds of truth and non-violence in Mahatma Gandhi also. With spiritual wit and wisdom, he was born 153 years ago, with total detachment for worldly pleasures from within. With extraordinary asceticism he had since birth, he acquired thorough knowledge of previous birth, known as Jati Smriti Gnan or Jati Smaran Gnan. At the age of 7 years, seeing the burning pyre of his neighbor Amichand Dada, a train of thought started. What is birth and death? What goes out if one dies? And he could perceive the clear picture of previous life. This is known as Jati Smriti Gnan or Jati Smaran Gnan. This is at the tender age of only 7. Even though he studied only 2 standards in the school of a very small village of a state of Gujarat in India, and 2 more standards from home, he carried with him the complete know-how of true religion from the previous birth. This he had imbibed directly from the Lord Mahavir in person during his previous birth when he was his last disciple. During present lifespan also, he has not deviated an inch from the original teachings of Lord Mahavir or Jineshwara of the yesteryears. From very childhood, he started writing numerous articles and poetries encompassing Jain philosophy in depth. He wrote Mokshmala. In true sense, it is the garland of lessons of liberation. In this, he wrote concise summary of Jain philosophy encompassing principles based on Lord Mahavir's preaching. This phenomenal work he accomplished at the age of 16 years, and that too within 3 days he completed this task. At the age of 19 years in Mumbai, he exhibited astonishing mnemonic power, the Shatabdhan, performing 100 tasks at a time, that too instantaneously. Herein he showed amazing power of the soul. He answered questions asked to him in 16 languages of the world, which he has had no knowledge of, not even the name. This prowess he exhibited in presence of judges, doctors, Sanskrit scholars, industrialists, and so many learned individuals. Having reached this stage of unparalleled name and fame, he renounced this and decided not to exhibit anymore. Sri Sobhagbai once requested Srimad that letter about 6 fundamental truths, though highly informative, could not be easily memorized, and that the same should be written in poetic dialogue. Srimad, with complete knowledge of Jain Agama, as imbibed directly from Lord Mahavir, once in the evening, when sun had already set, asked Sri Ambalal Bhai to hold the lantern in the hand, and like a flow of river, put forward miraculous 142 tanzas in a single sitting non-stop. Atma Siddhi, the self-realization, he wrote in a single sitting within 1.5 hours. It is an accurate composition and masterpiece in philosophical literature. Philosophy herein depicts the path of liberation in only 142 stanzas. This work is concise form of Atma Pravad, that is Gandharvad of Jain Agam. In this magical write-up, he weighed the pros and cons of all the prevailing religions, in Jain and otherwise, ultimately explaining as to how to liberate soul from the everlasting cycle of birth and death. This Vachanamrut, compilation of nearly 1000 letters written by Srimad Rajchandra himself, apart from Mokshmala, which in true sense is the garland of lessons of liberation, and Atma Siddhi, the rule book for self realization. It has numerous letters wherein one can read Srimad Rajchandra's divine and superhuman state, even though outwardly lived as a householder. This Vachanamrut also has Updesh Chaya at the end, his divine speech which he delivered in Gujarat, Charotar Pradesh, when in disengagement from worldly activities. Spiritual heights he had reached can also be envisaged from Abhyantar Pranam Avlokan Atnon, three of the personal diaries which Srimad had written as notes. In approximately 1000 letters of Vachanamrut, which is the book compilation of his letter to tree seekers, herein he wrote about his spiritual status also. Here it depicts genuine path of liberation after experiencing his old himself. Now let us see what is his message for true seekers world over, Jain or non-Jain. The basic requirement is very simple and straightforward. One should be willing to get freed from the trap of birth and death cycle. This is possible only if one is tired of materialistic life. One needs to imbibe the concept of enlightened seers that worldly pleasures are short-lasting and leave behind effect of venomous sting. There cannot be true happiness if it is not from within. Srimad Rajchandra pointed out the worst mistake a seeker commits is steadfast belief in the family religion. One is Jain because he is born in Jain family. He is Brahmin or Vedanti because he is born in that family. And concept of that religions are imbibed and considered the best. The beginner assumes that this is the only path of liberation and best available in the world. He believes that faith in family religion will give him lasting happiness and liberation too at the end. This type of false impression and sense of security prevails all throughout the lifespan of such innocent, ill-informed people. Venomous grasp of the family religion is so much that it dwells in the confidence of having genuine guide in the family priest, and that spiritual guide cannot be found anywhere else, and this concept prevails. Such family guru or family priest who occupy the chair in that family religion remain the main source of inspiration. One is not concerned or bothered whether he follows the path of Lord Mahavir's preaching or no. Followers of such ill-informed, unwise leader definitely will sink in the sea of unending journey of birth and death. Shocking and surprisingly enough, nobody knows how to swim and how not to sink. Their influence on the innocent follower is so much that it becomes very, very difficult to compromise, even if it appears to be wrong. Such Guru himself will sink, and so also his blind followers. There are so many sects flourishing on the name of Lord Mahavir with the label of Jainism. However, if one introspects with unbiased mind and asks himself with absolute impartiality, none of the paths they follow will fit into the concept of Lord Mahavir. Despite this, one is not prepared to compromise. Misguided by the family guru, they will stick to the concept of their own till death. Religion does not mean religious differences and preset beliefs. It doesn't mean cramming or reading either. Religion is not something which forces the person to accept as gospel truth whatever has been written in scriptures. It is the spiritual quality of the soul that matters, the quality which seeks happiness from within and not from the world around him. By religion, one can know self and the people, living creatures around him. Prevailing situation appears pitiable in the eye of Srimad Rajchandra, and that out of just compassionate nature, he clarifies his stand and openly reveals the discrepancies prevailing in so-called spiritual paths which actually lead nowhere. It is not the family in which the person is born, but the genuine feel and zeal for liberation which is important. One does not attain liberation on the basis of being born to a particular religion. There is only one religion for liberation to avoid the vicious circle of birth and death, and that is Vitrakta, detachment, thorough non-attachment. These form the basis of preaching of all the true saints and true gurus, whether Jain or otherwise. At present, there are so many sects. All claims and feel that they are the true genuine followers of teachings of Lord Mahavir. but it is pitiable and pathetic state of affair. No enlightened soul would ever preach that the path of liberation is based on caste or creed. The path of liberation cannot be built on the basis of rituals and meaningless activities. Srimad Rajchandra once told Mahatma Gandhi that the prevailing situation in the name of religion is so pathetic that his heart gets broken. He feels as if somebody is stabbing from behind. People just put flowers and lit the lamp, and that's all in the name of religion. They enjoy sweets, put on ornaments, put on new clothes on big days like Parushan, without any importance to controlling the worldly desires or inner instincts. They carry out fast and boast of true religion being followed. If one introspect, it is very easy to understand that singing, dancing, eating tasty food, putting ornaments, putting new clothes has nothing to do with religion, Jain or otherwise. Temples of Lord Tirthankaras are decorated with the lightings. People throng in hundreds for a couple of days in big days and enjoy as if attending social gathering or entertainment program, and that too in the name of religion. This is pitiable and disgusting. The basic concept of Jainism to avoid harming even the smallest creature is forgotten. Without any carry-home message, this type of devotees simply strengthen the personal views based on the ancestral beliefs. At the end, in the name of spiritualism, they lose the precious time, the precious manhood, and the precious gift of Lord Mahavir to refrain from worldly happiness and to achieve lasting happiness. Also, person may observe fasting, donate handsome amount also, but this is not all. He may assume important position in management of religious places. Not that this all should be deplored outright, but one should not take pride in this all. One should not get contented either that he has done a lot to attain this true spiritual life. Srimad Rajchandra firmly declared that without right insight, the scriptures are helpless. Without true spiritual contact, even meditation degenerates into wild imagination only. Without active guidance of a realized saint, final truth cannot be realized. That by following the normal path of worldly life, one cannot be on the path of liberation. A life full of bliss and peace and extreme non-attachment can only be attained if one resigns from within for all the activities of the world. Discussing intriguing topics of spiritual principles, confusing ill-informed beginners, writing books on the same and making innocent seekers a disciple is not the true religion. He will surely be the loser at the end. Ill fruits of such activities will be born in next birth too. He sinks in the ocean of endless journey of birth and death. Unfortunately, he will make his disciples suffer too. They, out of ignorance, took the shelter of such gurus and at the end suffer. Such gurus and self-proclaimed master get trapped in the fraud created by themselves. The people who have put in blind faith in such gurus will also get trapped. Both such gurus and their followers lose golden opportunity of breaking the cycle of birth and death. Another commonest fault is one strong desire to get money, power, position from in day-to-day life, and that too with the help of religion. But the religion is not meant for this. Self-proclaimed masters put forward these as the fruits of religion to attract the crowd. They promote and encourage activities like distributing sacred thread and giving mantras and tantras. They misguide and make ill-informed disciples to worship certain gods and goddesses for wealth, health, and worldly favors. But this can never be the part of religion. Neither it is the fruit of religion. Very purpose of religion is misinterpreted. Greedy masters trap innocent people in this type of activities. Appears attractive as it is shortcut, but this is not the teaching of Lord Mahavir or any realized soul for that matter. Srimad Rajchandra told very clearly and boldly that what are you going to achieve? Worshipping the deities, god and goddesses? They themselves are mortal and are bound by the fruits of past deeds. If old misdeeds go unrewarded forever, then how the universe will be governed? There would be chaos all around. Rules governing the universe would be null and void. Only pure enlightened soul, that is selfless guru, can guide one to avoid misery of life. Real happiness is one which is everlasting. It is misconception that one can ever be happy with money, power, position, or big family. Nothing is everlasting, and that if it is only short lasting, how can it be labeled as happiness? It is only after realizing the soul, that is Atma Gnan or Atma Sakshatkar, one will achieve lasting happiness. This is the teaching of true Guru. Genuine Guru is one who shows the true religion and true Dev, that is Vitrag Dev. One needs to follow such Gurus only, and one has to worship true gods like this, that is Vitrag Dev. Now to accumulate in the path of sorrow, relinquish everything, including one's own body at the end, and that too permanently and irreversibly, is the goal of spiritualism. To shed all the karma, bad and the good karmas as well at the end, is the only preaching of Lord Mahavir. Religion can never be monopoly of any particular caste. It is meant for rich and poor alike. Whether male or female, born to Jain, Hindu or any other caste, true religion only demands purity of mind and sanctity of behavior, and that's all. One who doesn't want anything will get everything in life. One who wants everything will get nothing at the end which can please him. Without this understanding in mind, even if one leaves behind worldly life and goes to temple as priest or goes to ashram as guru, he without clarity of purpose of true religion will remain empty-handed at the end. This understanding can come from true teacher only. Heavenly God is not going to help anymore. And that is the importance of the true enlightened Guru. Genuine seeker will only be able to identify who is genuine Guru. Guru doesn't mean that anybody who lives home, who lives business, who lives family and sits in any temple, that doesn't make him Guru. One has to stick to the enlightened soul to get enlightened. How to know that the guide in question is true or not, is genuine or otherwise? There are ways to recognize genuine Guru. Genuine guide is one who has realized the soul, who has no wishes at all, and he works without any wishes. One who explains in such a way that sermons given by him appeal to the mind and heart. One who gives satisfying answer to queries raised by the seeker without referring any books or religious treatises. He has all the answer at the back of his mind and tip of the tongue. These are Gurus who are the backbone of Lord Mahavir's path, true original Jainism. He will not collect money to construct big temples. He will not take interest in body comfort of self or people at large. He will not take part in new road construction or tree plantation. He will not take part in any worldly activities in the name of religion. He will not help get married with any of his disciples, instead explaining to give second thought before plunging and jumping in the ocean of sorrow. He will not guide any of his disciples to flourish in business, instead will advise to restrict the requirement and to bear minimum and lead simple life. He will not guide his disciples using astrology and forecast predicting. Instead, guide them to accept the fruits of one's previous deeds and avoid repeating the same mistakes again. He will never guide his disciples to worship God and goddesses for materialistic gains. He guides to worship only enlightened and liberated soul, that too to get liberated. In short, true Guru doesn't teach to repair the prison. Instead, let the prison be broken and that the prisoner will get freed. He is not interested in becoming Guru. He is not interested in making the disciples either. He wants himself to get liberated. He wishes that every creature, living object should get liberated. Let this materialistic life come to an end, and that is the fruit of Lord Mahavir's teaching. Having said this clearly, which is the true path of liberation, Lord Mahavir has preached that. Which sect to follow, Shwetambar, Digambar, Thanakvasi or Terapanthi? Whether to follow Jainism, Buddhism or Vedanta. Srimad Rajchandra, out of vast experience of past and present lives, gave a final path of liberation in only 2 lines in Atma Siddhi. Main knots of bondages are the attachment, hatred and ignorance. And if these 3 fall off, there won't be any traces of misery anymore. If this aforesaid path is followed, there is no need to look at caste or grab distinction. One-sided absolute view of only theory or only practical standpoint can never be fruitful. He gave appropriate importance to each as and when situation demands. Seers of the past, remote and recent, seers of today and those of time to come, the path of salvation is one and the same. Confined to own talent in pompous godly congregation and gene's pictorial form, confined to the body shape, height and like, and sticking to this as a religion can never be helpful to seeker for the progress. Likewise, celestial abodes and belief of sectarian forms needs to be done away with. Talking about original pure state of soul, keeping aside practical ways and only live wisdom is not the path of liberation either. Sainthood is there where the true knowledge of self shines. Soul seeker would follow such teachers, not the family priest, neither self-proclaimed gurus. The path of perfection is the same. The path of perfection is the same in all the time, past, present, and time to come. This is the only path which is acceptable as it helps enlighten the soul. Suppression of all the passion, only compassion, and the goal of liberation only, along with dejection of rebirth too, is the path for all the true seekers, old or new, very senior and novice alike. Liberation is nothing but the perfect pure state of oneself. And the way to achieve self-realization is the true religion. And this is the sublime religion. Rest all the so-called religions indulging in worldly goods will not lessen a single round of the wheel of birth and death, and instead bliss is flying far. To help rectify this all, Srimad Rajchandra showed the path, and that has been the teaching of Lord Mahavir too. Let us summarize the essence of true path of liberation. In this degrading age, he laid open the genuine way of salvation. Who is true master? Sainthood is there where there is true self-knowledge. Soul seekers should hunt for and follow such teachers only. What is meant by true religion? One which leads to salvation. This religion does not recognize caste or gender. Neither it is based on any authoritative belief. Whoever accepts this under the guidance of true master and tries to loosen and destroy the knots of attachment, hatred and ignorance is sure of attaining everlasting happiness. Who is God? One who is fearless, faultless, totally detached and karmaless. He only can be omniscient and omnipercipient, having infinite awareness and understanding. The so-called learned monks of any sect would insist on white grab, that is Shvetambar, saffron grab, that is sannyasis, or for that matter not even a thread, that is Digambar. Srimad Rajchandra insists on none of this. His concept related to innumerable objects, to their innumerable types, innumerable point of views, presented in innumerable modes. None can be fixed for everybody at the old time. And this is the Syadvad of Jinendra. He gave us the prayer, that is Kshamapna, atonement, wherein one cannot find any inclination towards any particular religion or belief. There is no mention of any particular god or guru based on sectarianism. It is for one and all. He gave us the mantra, Sajatma Sarup Param Guru. Here also one cannot attribute it to particular caste, creed or sect. There is no bondage of particular language based on bigotry. If one recites Naukar mantra, it is obvious that it is in Ardhamagdi, Prakrit or Sanskrit. If one recites Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, or if one recites Om Namo Shivaya, or for that matter even Gayatri mantra, then it is obvious. Then here there is a predefined language associated with it. Sajatma Sarup Param Guru mantra is no language binding. It is for everybody and in any language spoken. He gave us bhakti, He Prabhu, and Yam Niyam, wherein there is no mention of any prevailing religion. Rather, it is the nectar of life, which makes the true seeker immortal. And at the end, even though Atma Siddhi, the rule book, based on fundamental principles of salvation, there is no inclination towards any particular sect. One has to be inclined only towards liberation, and in that process, he will get liberated too at the end. Astonishing is the fact that Srimad Rajchandra has not mentioned his name as author of any of his superhuman compilation, as he had preferred to remain non-doer, and he remained only knower. At the end, he became non-doer and only knower. The great men are the torch-bearers of eternal truth, is amply proved by the life and teaching of Srimad Rajchandra. As Upanishad says, Asatoma Sadgamaya, let these kind lights lead us from untruth to truth, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, let this light lead us from darkness to light. Mrityoma amritagamaya, and let this light lead us from death to immortality. It is a reminder call for all of us, because the complete path of liberation laid down by the Lord Victorious had been buried under the differences of opinion in the name of religion. Srimad Rajchandra, as the living enlightened Guru, lived as though in body, but always above it, honors it, and put forward the same in purest form for one and all, for the true seeker. समझाव्यो संक्षेप में सकल मार्ग निर्ग्रंथ सहजात्म स्वरूप परम गुरु.